This is Vikings Uncensored, where fans can be fans, unfiltered, unhinged, and uncensored.
Last 3 months, like a donkey on a chain, I got my heart off the leash, but you still infect my brain, so now I'm running round in circles, cause I can't forget the pain, like 1,000 shiny daggers every time I hear your name, so I have to get control of my body and my soul. I pick my heart up off the floor like I had to twice before. Should've cared a little less, we should've loved a little more. Now we both regret the past as we're walking out the door, because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. Fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues. But my heart can't seem to forget about you. Can't forget about all of these mysteries filling our heads, begging to be solved, remembering the lives we lived before, searching for answers out in the void. We're all just restless girls and boys, looking for keys to open the door. Time's everlasting, time never lasts, quite as long as we wanted to. Watching seconds slipping from my grasp, holding you closer, holding our breath. Observing the march of time as the present quickly fades into our past. Swimming in circles now, and we can't get out, and we can't get off this ride. A vessel is tossing in the waves. Step up the shadows, no need to hide. Our future is rising with the tide. The only thing we need to be is brave. Time's everlasting, but time never lasts, quite as long as we wanted to. Watching seconds slipping from my grasp, holding you closer, holding our breath. Observing the march of time as the present quickly fades into our past.
Well, welcome in, everyone, to our very first episode of Vikings Uncensored. I am your host, Bubba Startz, and with me, as always, is my boy, Coach Cody. Coach, welcome to the show.
How we doing, man?
Man, we got some really special guests. Sir Picasso's in the house tonight. We're going to bring him on in just a second. He's painting away on Facebook and also in real life, working on some canvases. We're going to share some of his awesome stuff. They just had a big event with Aaron Jones last night, so we're going to bring him on to talk about all of that in just a few minutes here. But, Coach, what a stinker on Sunday, huh?
Man, that was unbelievable. Just everything, start to finish. Well, it didn't start out that bad. I'm not gonna lie, but just ending in a shutout. Come on now, like
at some point, just kick the field goal, take the points, right? Take the points, get the goose egg off the board. It at least is one less thing to talk about, right? Over the course of the week, because there was so much bad. But oh my goodness, I'm glad I wasn't watching. I was in the car listening. What was the worst part was that I had walked out right as they recovered the strip sack. So I'm like walking out the door. By the time I got to the edge of my tiny town, I turn on the radio, I get K-Fan on, and Paul Allen's like, well, it's 10-0. And I'm like, wait, we just recovered a fumble at the 20. What are you talking about?
right.
And, yeah, it is what it is. This is a place for all of us to commiserate over what has been an absolutely failed season for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, for some of you fans, we do a pregame show 2 hours before every game. Coach Cody, former GM and head coach of the St. Paul Bears, now working with the Wyoming Cavalry. He brings in the analysis and the deep football stuff. I'm just a guy who likes football and really appreciates the fans of football teams. And speaking of fans and big super fans, member of the Viking World Order, let's bring on Sir Picasso here, better known as Darth Viking to most. What's happening, buddy? How you doing tonight?
Man, what's good? What's good?
How we feeling, man?
Buddy, I was just tuning into your live a few minutes ago, and now
Yeah.
here we are on my live. So we just live in front of a camera these days, huh?
Man, so you what? I mean, if you go to promote yourself, right? That's we're in an age of social media, and so yeah, I felt bad. Like I actually shut my live off because my boys called, and it was just one of my sons called me, so I'm like, fuck, I better go back on quick because there was a couple people who were, kind of vibing out, and so yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a little glimpse. So I'm working on a custom, one of a kind, 3 deep, like you've never seen before. I'm not going to give away the overall of this canvas, the subject, but it is going to Jake Reed. This will be getting placed all over the. How do I turn my camera around? Oh, that.
Oops. I had to pull my flat bill on here too. We'll see if he can get his camera flipped around. He's back.
There. So how do I turn my camera around?
You might have to just turn your phone around.
All right, I'll do that. Are you
It
good?
can be done.
So at the very bottom of my screen, it shows like a refresh thing. So I'm like, oh, that must be it. That's not it. So this is all spray painted.
You're so freaking unreal, man.
So this is literally 9 by 10 inches on an 18 by 24 canvas. It turned out dope. I'm gonna show you one of my favorite. I should have had this all set up. But like you said, I was live trying to show off what I'm doing, and I'm painting, and I got stuff going on in my own world right now. Nope, other switch. Oh, let there be light. I mean, we got stuff signed by, like, I've done work for Mike Tyson.
Oh man.
So if we have any boxing fans in there, this is a 2 foot by 3 foot canvas. It is the number 1 of 2. Mike Tyson owns the number 2. Mike owns the number 2, bro. I couldn't give him the number 1.
No, you can't give up the number 1.
I was like, it's for me though, being a fan, bro. I'm telling you, like, it was super cool for that. Man, I got everything from, we got stormtroopers. I got a number 405 Alexander Madison left. We got some Ninja Turtles.
Those are sick.
Man.
Unreal, right, Coach?
Honestly.
Hey, I have a Justin, like, I go by Sir Picasso. I have a Justin Jefferson Picasso format.
I gotta give me one of them.
All you gotta do is shoot me a message, and I'll hit you up with this one right here, bro. Let me.
All right.
So right now, so 16 by 20. That's 400. They go for $400.
Yeah, that's still stealing.
Yo, yeah.
It's a one of a kind. We got some Nas Reed.
They look like photographs.
Yeah,
Like,
posters, right?
you're so good, man. It
This
blows
is
me
one
away.
of, dude. This is one of my favorites. This is an old one. I did this 7 years ago, right? Bob Lertzema. Hey, fucking bench warmer Bob, bro. He's like fucking. How great is that?
I had to bust my flat bill out because I know you're always rocking some sick headgear. You had the pink one on the other day. That one's awesome.
So I have 230 of them.
Man, put me to shame.
Look at this metallic gold, one of a kind, 12-inch autograph, Jordan Addison. He told
Yeah.
me flat out this was the biggest autograph he's ever done. It's got that metallic gold inside.
Oh man.
But here's the kicker, bro. It don't even have to be sports, coach. Picture you and your family, your pet. I could paint anything, bro. You want your kid
All
to
right.
look like fucking Spider-Man? I could put Captain America.
All right.
I love it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna-
definitely gonna have to experiment.
Yeah, well, and we always what I love is that you're always doing stuff for charity, and that's what really attracted me to you and Shelly and the Viking World Order and everything that you guys do. Here, I want to show off the one that you did last night. So there's the one that they auctioned off last night, guys.
My guy Alvin Jones. Oh, that was Aaron Jones on that one, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool, man. So you guys auctioned this one off live, right?
Yeah, so they actually reached out to me last week, Friday. I'm working on this. I was finishing up another canvas, and they're like, "Oh, we really want you to do something live at the new Top Golf in Woodbury." And I'm like, I can't spray live. I wear a respirator to protect myself. So, and then also this is like I know how Top Golf is. Like it's close proximity, right? So spray paint can still stick to you, and I don't want anybody else dealing with any of that. But I'm like, I can paint something and bring it with. Yeah, if you think you'll have time. I painted that canvas in 3 days
That's
Oh
unreal.
wow.
while working on this too. And so this is a branding deal, right? So if you want to do branding, you actually out of the deal you get two 18 by 24 canvases. You'll be able to keep one for yourself. Each one's going to be completely different, but you would keep one for yourself, and then the other one you would use because the background would have a softer tone. So you can use the color, you can use the portrait for clothing, for posters, for you own the rough, whatever you want. Whatever you want to put it on and sell, that's up to you. You've purchased that right. So each canvas is going to be different. So when I say I'm working on this, I'm working on this. I got the other one right there, just one step ahead of it. And so I'm always multitasking, bro. And then, like you said, like to be able to do something that for last night's event was for their All the Way Foundation. And I kind of boasted a little bit. That canvas right there, live auctioned over everything else that they had. And that canvas sold for more than a Speed Flex Justin Jefferson helmet, full size.
Oof.
So
Okay, go crazy.
I was, that's kind of like I was going, come on now, really? I was shocked to find that out. But it was really cool because, so Alvin and Aaron, our twins, Alvin played for the Ravens, and he was on another team too, wasn't he? But I don't think he plays anymore. But it was also, it's their birthday today. So yeah, that was one of my pictures of it because it's like bright. You can see everything in it, man. Like the canvas itself like screams showtime.
Mhm.
I incorporated Pops. You know, he lost his father, so I incorporated that in the wristband. Also in the helmet in the bottom corner, it's got a German flag, like his mom. They're for the military family. And they were stationed in Germany. So that kind of touch base has a little home plate for him. So I wanted to make things really personal for him. Um, but yeah, for Alvin to purchase that canvas for his mom was dope. Like I was kind of telling people on my live, like just to kind of set up the ambiances. It was literally in Top Golf before you go out on a tier. If you ever been there, like on the tier where you tee off and play, it's kind of like just a little clubhouse on the inside, right? And Aaron Jones and Alvin just showed up. So everybody who was already there is now in the midst of this little area. So that's how loud like people are talking. They're trying to get his attention. And my wife got a cool video. I think we posted it, but um, Alvin went and brought Aaron over to show him the canvas. And so I hadn't had a word of him yet. And I had no idea my wife was recording. So I had just walked over and he was showing him. He's like, yeah, that's the guy. So Aaron just comes up and kind of dabs me up. And I kind of asked him, I'm like, you remember me? And you can see him be like, yeah, like so. And then they had this whole thing. But over my shoulder, I hear the lady who's putting it on, Carly, telling his mom, oh, that's the guy who painted it. She goes, that's so beautiful. And then Alvin like kind of hits me. He's like, I'm like, I gotta get this for moms. So they ended up buying that canvas for their mom.
That's awesome.
So it was
Yeah, and all the money goes to charity, and it's just so cool, man, that you use these talents that you've been given to just do so much good in the world and to get these kind of crazy opportunities. I mean, you've done,
yeah.
you know, obviously you showed us the Mike Tyson one, and I mean, there's stuff that you can't tell us about, people you've met and commission pieces that you've done. You know, I've seen a couple of you had to rent a truck, or like damn near had to rent a U-Haul to get one of these out, didn't you?
I rented a Jeep Wagoneer, and we did a little bit of research to make sure it was wide enough, because this company out of Mankato commissioned 4 4-foot by 5-foot canvases, all different individual images, from Justin Jefferson, Randy Moss, and Kevin Garnett. You know, the sports swap photo, Kirby Puckett, and then a Minnesota Miracle. But to get all of those canvases to fit in a vehicle, I'm sitting there going, okay, so we were originally going to rent a U-Haul as well, because in my mind, I would just get some styrofoam, place them up against the wall, and we just ratchet strap them to the walls, right? But then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm like going, then I'm looking at U-Haul prices, no disrespect, but I'm not paying for your mileage and the vehicle. It's just cheaper for me to rent a truck. And I go, well, let's rent a Suburban or something. And we called locally. They didn't have one. Oh, we got a Jeep Wagoneer. And I remembered when my buddy Eric flew in from Jersey, they rented one. That thing is huge, bro. And when I tell you this third row, everything laid down, these these canvases fit just snug. Like just like when the door closes, it was like nestled the canvases in. Like it was perfect. But on top of those 4 big ass canvases, they also had 7 16 by 20s. So that was dope. Yeah, those came out fire. And my wife Shelly did a phenomenal job with she does it like she's playing with AI and doing videos, and man, they're incredible. Last night's event, you know, right now I'm doing a super fans calendar, right, to raise money for veterans. And little segue, Aaron Jones, I brought 2 calendars up there to him. I'm like, look, can you sign these for me? So I'm going to sell them to make more money for my charity. He's like, what? Okay. I'm like, I just want to be honest with him. I'm not keeping it. But I sell stuff like it. To me, it's just cool having that experience of what I went through last night. But if I can use something like this calendar, like, so regular wall calendars are $30 a piece, but an autographed one of a kind Aaron Jones, this is the only one, right? I got some signed by TJ Hawkinson, who is a sponsor of our Pillars of Valor. He is a partner with that company to raise money for veterans. I got 5 of these. I'm down to 1 left, but there is only one Aaron Jones one, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're a collector, I like the things that nobody has, the rare things. But if I can combine what I do with my rarity, because nobody spray paints on canvas, nobody's, you know, you don't get to get a random calendar sign. I will. I don't want something that you have.
Yeah. Live life one of a kind. I love the motto, man. I can't let you take all the spotlight. We got to feature the women of the North too. So it's kind of a competition between.
I have one too.
You got one too here. I stole some pictures off of Shelly's Facebook before I jumped on tonight. And yeah, I just love what you guys are doing with this. And it's
heard earlier too.
Well, and it's so cool because you get the
Yeah,
I'll show you. So Devin,
here, I'm gonna give you the stage.
the
Yeah,
local celebrity, right? So this is January. This is how glossy this page. Like those pictures are so freaking cool, clean cut. You can see every reflection. I apologize for my tablet being in the background.
No.
So
Oh
the wall,
man.
like I said, wallpaper or the wall calendars are $30. She has desktop calendars. They're 4x8. These things are super slick. Pop into place, set it on your desk. There you go. Switch it every month. You get to see some of the cool super fans. Like myself, we dress up. I dress up as Darth Viking. I can show you that one, but like I said, if you want to see some of the other ones, so this is how the wall calendar will look. Man, see that they are glossy. Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Almost can't even
Man.
see it on.
Clean.
Yeah, 100%. Like it
Shining.
reflects its own TV on my phone.
Yeah,
But that's what I mean,
that's
man. These things
awesome.
are sharp. Anything we're going to put our name on, bro, is going to be good quality. Um, so, and I love, like I said, we do a lot of donating, whether I'm, somebody's going through some tough times and, they've reached out about raffling off a canvas or, so that's what I was going to tell you too. Like if that Justin Jefferson, Sir Picasso, the Picasso one right there, I've already said that I'm going to raffle that off for a buddy of mine whose son is going through, he just had 2 brain surgeries and he's in the hospital now because of swelling in his brain. So they have to drain it out. And it's a process, bro. But even worse, like it's costly, and this is his kid. He's 23 years old. He's a great kid. So that's why I said, if you want to purchase that, I'm gonna give you his PayPal and I want you to send him the money. I'll mail you the canvas.
All right, bet.
I just try to help other people out, man. And if I can do it just one shot, like just give him something that's going to give him a peace of mind that covers at least one portion of the medical bill for this month, then it takes a little bit off of his back. And I know the stress that he's got. I got kids, bro. Anybody, coach? I don't know if you got kids, Bubba.
Yes,
But
sir.
it's just like, could you imagine your son having to have brain surgery and then having to go back in and then finding out
Mm.
you got to go back to the hospital because it's swelling? He's not like his speech. He just wasn't doing good. And so he's getting better, but it's things like that that break my heart. And I just try to, help as many people as I can. And it's not about money with me with painting. I guess so many people that, they see what I do and think that I should be blown up. But I feel
Well,
like,
and honestly, if you had like an agent, Coach Vincent Fortner Bay says, "What's up, Coach Cody?"
What's
I know
going
you're
on,
your phone
coach?
tonight, so you probably can't see all the comments as they come in, but that you could, right? Like if you had an agent and you wanted to go live in just the art world and sell your paintings for like, bro, your stuff is unbelievable. I've seen a lot of art in my life. I've never seen anything like what you've done. And you've probably given away more money and like than some people make in a year, right? Like that you give away in art by making things available, whatever it might be. That's what really attracted me to you and Shelly and the VWO. Obviously, Sir Death has a massive platform online on the social media. He's always trying to, not necessarily starting all these charities, but I know a lot of people got to come to him and say, "Hey man, can you blast this link?" Like the Skull
oh
Suite
my God.
stakes, right? It's nothing for me to share it. And that's kind of why I was so attracted to you guys. We were up there for the whiteout game last year and getting to meet everyone, and everyone's dressed up, and I just such a high vibe. Last year's vibes around this team were a lot different, right? So it was coming into
Yeah.
the whiteout game Monday night against the Bears and getting to experience all of that. It just was like, man, I'll give up everything to be part of this crew, and that's that was a big factor for me wanting to do, the pregame show and now moving into this during the week where we actually have a chance to talk. Game day for you and for everybody else, it's busy, and unless we can start to do the pregame show at the tailgate, we ain't going to see a lot of you on the program. So it was
Right.
nice to get you on tonight. I know you're busy. I don't want to keep you too long, but can you tell everybody where they can get the calendars and everything before I let you out of here?
Oh yeah, you just shoot me a message either on preferably on my Marcus with my personal page. You can shoot me a message. But I have Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and it's all My Venmo is painting away, and my Cash App is painting away, AWEYH. So I mean, like I said, 100% of these wall calendars go to support veterans and Pillars of Valor. You can check out the Pillars of Valor page. You can see that it's 100%. Everything is like they have to be legit for me to want to mess with, to try and promote you,
Yep.
or to
And
even
we've
put my
reached out
name
to
behind
Zach.
it.
We've reached out to Zach as well, getting a hold of him to do some more stuff. Obviously, veterans, you can
Yeah.
see the banner behind me,
Oh,
Operation Combating
Zach's a,
Veterans
Zach's a
Suicide is,
great dude, bro.
yeah. Well, and I'm looking forward to it. I know in the season, and they got so much stuff going on. Obviously, Hawk's doing a lot of things with them, and I know he's busy. But after this season, or hopefully, towards the end of the year, we can get together and continue doing exactly what we're doing right now, man. Raising awareness, raising money for charity, and to just ad infinitum, right? Like keep this going. If we all can do this for the rest of our lives, I think we'd be really happy men. So Marcus, I appreciate you jumping on with us tonight, man. I know you're a busy man and you're doing your thing, but I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch for a little bit, but I'm gonna get back to work.
Cool, man. We're gonna talk some ball and commiserate a little bit here with our fans too. So that's Sir Picasso.
Hey, don't ever give up hope on the Vikings, bro. Just be patient.
Yeah.
Hey, I grew up a Cubs fan, man. I'm flush on patience.
See, but real shit. Like I just see it real quick. People are always they're so quick to give up on McCarthy. They're so quick to get a look. We drafted him for a reason, right? Everybody has bad days, and people got to remember too. These guys are 20-something years old,
22.
right? Half the people I talk to, my age, are in their 40s, 50s years old. I'm going, bro. Were you great at what you did at 20 years old? Shut up. Let the man and also here's the difference. You were just at work punching a clock. He's trying not to get his clock punched by a fucking 6'4", 350-pound linebacker.
By an animal.
Okay.
I like that. I like
just
that.
breathe. Let's breathe. Let's give some man some patience. Let's go. He'll be fine.
Awesome, Marcus. I appreciate you, man. We're going to see you around, and I hope you get a chance to dip back in with us. Obviously not every week is a possibility, but I'd love to get Shelly on sometime too and promote the Women of the North calendar some more and all that. I know she's got a Secret Santa coming up too, so I got
it's always something, bro.
Always something, man. I love it. It never ends.
Yes, sir.
That's Sir Picasso, Marcus Way, painting away on all the social media. You find him. Awesome, man. So cool. That's why I started this show. That's why we can talk ball. There's plenty of other shows that talk ball, but I've been very fortunate to meet, hanging out at the Viking World Order tailgate, seeing these super fans and seeing what they were about, which was helping the less fortunate, no matter who that is, right? It's not just one charity that they're helping. It's dozens or hundreds of them over the course of time. And it really drove home to me that we all love football. We love this team, but it's about more than football. And I think that, you're a great example of that too. And what really attracted me to you was that you're about helping young men and helping young men grow, and especially working in, the indoor football leagues or, these smaller leagues. You still got guys that are chasing a dream to maybe get to the NFL or to keep playing in general and to keep playing ball. Can you talk a little bit about your experience as a coach and to give our fans, since it's not a game day and there ain't a whole lot to talk about football wise with this team right now, I want to give you a little bit to share, a little bit of your story, Coach.
Well, I mean, I love helping other people, as a football coach. I want to, grow and succeed and elevate myself, but I want my players to go further and beyond. That should be a coach's mindset no matter what. Putting the players first. I love all my players, literally every single one of them. We're doing this together. We're fighting together. I know I'm not on the field, but I'm doing everything I can to help them, every time, every game, every down. and I'm excited for what's to come. I know I've got, one player, formerly from the St. Paul Bears, and he's going to be playing in the AF1. I got many more on the way. It's just a matter of time, and that's just just seeing their growth, over the years. That makes me so happy. Almost like a job well done type of thing. But there's more players out there, and these smaller leagues, these developmental leagues, there's never say never type of thing. Like, there's always a way. No matter what, there's always a way. Kurt Warner, back in the day, he took a unorthodox route to the NFL and made a career out of it, a really great career out of it. So just if you want it bad enough, you'll do what you need to. You'll go through whatever you have to go through in order to get it. So
well,
I just
speaking
want
of some of those players, we got one of your former players and a friend of yours I know, Chirp, is Jameis Neal chiming in with the "Go Pack Go." Get that nonsense out of here, man.
Oh man, Jameis. Oh man, killer. He's a killer on the field. He's a dog linebacker. But yeah, you can get that. You can take that pack shit and get out of here.
I feel Tony Hicks commented earlier. I didn't want to put it up while Marcus was here, but I think this is exactly how we all feel about the Vikings season right now.
Yeah, it pretty much sums it up. I mean,
he took the Uncensored straight to the max. I appreciate that, Tony. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Brother.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's basically how I feel. I
That's
don't
what
have any
everybody said
Vikings.
when Max threw that ball up.
I'm not even mad at that. I'm more mad at the fact that, at that point in the game, you take them points. You're playing against Sam Darnold. You know what kind of quarterback he is. Our defense came to play, and you take the points. That way you're not playing from behind and you don't have to get away from the run. What did we run 6 times? Oh man, that made me want to puke. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Help your guy out.
Right. Well, it would have tied the game up, man. An easy chip shot ties the game, and it just has such a different feel to it. And you talked about something when you were talking about your experience about the coach should be there to make his players better. And I just feel like what's been exposed over this season is Kevin O'Connell's stubbornness and refusal to do that. Now, a lot of people that don't know about my history. I grew up, my family's from Chicago. I grew up rooting for the Bears my whole life. It was last season when they were in the dumps, but I watched that team quit, right? And I was finally like, man, I've given this team so much of my time and attention, and these grown-ass men out here making millions of dollars just laid down, right? And I've never seen that from this Vikings team. And I know we may see that moving through the rest of the season. I don't think so. But one thing that my good buddy Draft Dr. Phil on their show, Keeping It 100 on the Tape Never Lies network, he would always say, and he was, obviously the Bears had a lot of turmoil last year with coaching and rollover, but the play caller's job is to help the young player out. And obviously Caleb Williams with the Bears last year had a miserable season, right? I mean, he set records for passing yards because the Bears have been so atrocious at QB forever.
No kidding.
You have to have a strong running game to match up with that. And I've learned so much about football from watching my friend's YouTube show and watching them grow. And he breaks down tape. And I mean, he does it all. I've learned so much from just watching him, because I didn't play the game, Coach. I played, like 7th and 8th grade. I think I maybe played my freshman year, and then I hung up the cleats. It wasn't for me, right? But always driving home that the coach's job is to help the players on the field perform at their best. And I feel like what we've seen out of KOC, and not just this season, it's been all the time, that he wants to be the quarterback so bad, right? He's trying to live vicariously through that headset so bad that it is hindering his team. And I think he's a great leader of men. I think he still has those qualities, but as a play caller, he cannot get out of his own fucking way. and it's atrocious to watch time after time after time. And I think he's being exposed to the point, Coach, where I think he came out with some comments today that our boy Willie chirping in, and Willie's a Chiefs fan, right, down there in Missouri. And across the board, a lot of teams, to many, try to fit the player into a box instead of putting the players in a position to succeed, right? And I feel, and it's crazy this year because the stats reflect that strong running game. The stats for this Viking were top 10 rushing yards per attempt. You just have a coach that 6 attempts with an undrafted rookie quarterback. What the hell are you doing? And I think a lot of fans who were putting this all on McCarthy 2 weeks ago are waking up to this now, right? Like the veil has been lifted now where it's like, oh, this guy's a problem, right? Like his insistence on passing 80% of the time is an issue when you have a absolutely beat up offensive line. You have 2 horses in the background. Aaron Jones, we've obviously talked a lot about on this episode for different reasons, but this Jordan Mason looks like a pretty good back too, right? Like, what are we doing?
It's tough. And like I've been saying, past couple weeks, and just conversations with you during the week, being that coach to want to put your players in the best position, and with all the success that KOC has had over the past few seasons, I kind of feel like he's got that you can't tell me nothing attitude. And once you get that, everything starts to turn. The game's constantly evolving. So as coaches, you have to constantly evolve yourself. We should have ran the ball more. I don't know why in the hell we didn't. I don't know why we didn't take the points when we did. Jordan Addison, that first like few throws that Brosmer had, it was I think it was a slant or a post or something over from the left side, and he just dropped it. It was a perfect throw, down the field over 10 yards, and he just dropped it. The one to Jefferson, it was a little bit behind him, but you got your hands on it. Jefferson, we've seen you make harder catches than that. You got to come down with it. Wide receivers have to help him out too. That's just all around bad football, bad coaching.
Man, bad GM moves. They released Thielen after trading a 4th-round pick for him. And I what are we doing? We're just giving away players, and I think a lot of people justified the trade for Thielen because you didn't know if you were getting Naylor back, and you had kind of and I don't know if anybody really, Harrison Phillips, you trade Harrison Phillips, and I think a lot of people justified that trade because you kind of flipped that pick to get Thielen, and there was just a lot of things, and now you essentially gave away both guys for nothing.
Right. And Addison was on suspension.
Right. Well, and I think that Naylor injury really worried them, I guess, but still, man, what about Ty Felton? What about the guy that you drafted that's on the team already? There's so many questions, and I think KOC is safe for this year. I think Kwesi's gone. I think he's a Black Monday casualty. There's just too much. I'm surprised, honestly, he didn't get fired after the statement released with Thielen. I don't know the Wilfs. I'm relatively new to the team, right, and following this team, so I don't know a lot of the history and what these owners are like. There's some people that think Kwesi's kind of safe and coming back regardless, but you can't fuck this draft up, man. You got 10 picks, and you need 80% of them to hit and to become role players at least on this team. This team is If you don't hit, you're looking at a massive regression next year, and not necessarily a rebuild of the roster, but everybody in the front office and coaching staff is getting fired if you have a repeat of this season next year.
No, most definitely. Most definitely. Mid-season, I wouldn't even wait. I wouldn't even give it the whole season. If it looks like it this next year, I'm clearing house. I'd clear house. Obviously, things aren't working. Changes need to be made. I kind of agree with you, though. I think KOC is safe. He's just built too much credibility over the past few years. One season, going into it, there were some people that were like, is JJ McCarthy ready? So, I mean, Kwesi for sure. I wouldn't even let him mess up another draft. I wouldn't even give him a chance to mess up another draft. 10 picks? No, I'm not doing that.
No, Mr. Pink, appreciate the comment. I think you're right. Jefferson has to have a say because he's your franchise. He's the one that people are still taking their kids to go see on Sunday. And I think US Bank is going to sell out. You're right. You're going to have 70,000 people in there no matter what, because, and especially when tickets get cheap, that a lot of people, Brandon Herrera chiming in too, said, what's up,
What's
Cody?
good, man?
That it's almost nice for people with families because the tickets get cheaper. You can afford to bring the 3 kids out to a game maybe and enjoy it. But that goodwill only lasts for so long too. There's a lot of people that have already cashed their chips in, moving on to the Wolves and the Wild. They're tuning out of Vikings football and not consuming it. And it's unfortunate that the season has gone as poorly as it has for so many reasons, because the expectation was set so high, right? 14 wins last year with Sam Darnold. I think everybody was in like, this is the 2025 is our year, right? Let's go. JJ's going to step up. And I think, JJ looked to me like a guy who hadn't played football in a year. And unfortunately, that knee injury sidelining him. And it's not like, I think he was on the bench all year last. Like, they had planned for a redshirt year. You don't sign Sam Darnold, who is a proven starter in the league. Now, is he a top tier guy? I don't think anyone's fighting you on whether he is or not. But you signed him to be the starter, right? And you were hopeful that JJ would be able to sit back and learn the game, get all the practice reps, and he didn't. And unfortunately, you really messed up this year, putting him in a position that he was never ready to step into. And it seems like the move is, and Brandon Herrera asking if the Vikings entertain calls about Jetta. I don't think so. Not right now. You go, 1-4 to start next year. I think he's demanding a trade at that point. And at that point, you're getting pennies on the dollar on that deal. From what I've heard, I don't understand all the contracts and everything, but the money, you're not just trading him, right? Nobody's taking on the money of his contract, right? Is it $30 or $40 million a year? So you're talking about a ton of dead cap space in there. So it's not as easy as it is in some of the other sports, or that it was traditionally in the NFL, 10 years ago. A lot of things have changed on that front. So, Jets is on this team. JJ is on this team, whether people, want that or not. I think, with the arm talent that he has, I think if he would have had that red shirt year, he's a different quarterback this year, right? If he's able to correct the footwork and the processing and to get all those reps on the practice squad last year, especially with as good as the defense was, right, that he would have been a totally different player this year. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And this year, the front office didn't have a plan as far as like, what happens if we got to pull the ripcord? And if Carson Wentz was your answer, what the fuck were you thinking? And I think that's why Kwesi's gone, right? I think that's why Kwesi is absolutely out of here, because you need big changes on this team over the course of this offseason to even think about being not even a contender, just like being watchable next year.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't think we entertain any calls for Jefferson. If we did, uh, then you're basically starting all over again.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
punting on 2020 on the 2026-27 season. If you trade Jets in the offseason, you've declared to your fan base that we are in full rebuild mode.
yeah. And to answer Brandon's question, I agree with you. I think he's safe this year. Like I said, he's had, so much success in these previous seasons. 1 year, we're going to be like, it might have been a fluke, whatever. We'll give him that chance. But like I said, next year, shit better be a complete turnaround.
I think it starts out warm next year, right? Like it's on medium
It
to
has
start
to.
the year.
It has to.
Yeah,
it has to.
it's already heating up now because of statements he made today. He actually, and I actually appreciate this because you don't see it a lot from KOC, but you heard him in his press conference. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but you heard him kind of admitting that, I didn't put our players in a good spot. And I don't know if that's kind of the veil of the coach of the year, coming off of his eyes and him taking a long look in the mirror to go, okay, I need to readjust how I'm coaching and calling plays, or it's going to end with me not having a job, sometime next year either. And I think he's a smart enough individual to do it. I think he has enough mentors in the league. A guy like Wes Phillips isn't sticking around. I know their relationship is strong. I honestly think KOC, I think his system is good. I really think it's him as a play caller. And a lot of people are calling for him to give up play calling and those things. I don't think you're going to see that either. It means too much to him. But he needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror and to make a bunch of adjustments this year and how he's starting to call games and address the issues moving forward, even if hey, we're gonna, there's been a lot of Mac Jones talk, Mr. Pink coming back in, and that's getting warmer. I don't know enough about Mac Jones to make a judgment call on that. Aaron Rodgers' name is obviously getting thrown around again. I don't know how much I'm into that. I think it's honestly more, can KOC take this offseason? Because when did JJ come back? I mean, from that MCL, that was like a 9-10 month deal. So it's not like he was out practicing and able to work out in February, March, and April. It seemed like he was really just getting back around the time that they had their, off-season team activities and getting started into that, which are really condensed. You're not getting a ton of time to do things, in that time. So he probably didn't get any time with his personal quarterbacks coach last season and over the course of the offseason to work on some things. I think, I don't know, man. I don't know what they do. Brandon, you got some great questions. We're going to have to bring Brandon Herrera on to freaking co-host this show with us at some point. Cody, what do you think of that? Is a good buddy of yours?
I mean, I do podcast or interviews with them for the Coast to Coast Sports Network, Entertainment Network.
Okay,
so I mean,
Brandon,
I think
shout out to you, man.
it'd run just smooth.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I've been tapping in and seeing your guys' content online. Obviously, I'm producing so much over here that I can't, but I knew the name looked familiar. Brandon, shout out to Coast Sports Network, everything you guys are doing over there. We'll be sharing more of that stuff over on this channel, and we'd love to have you in, man. Actually, you know what? I'm going to send you a link. Coach, you go ahead and I'll answer his question. I'm going to dip out and see if I can send him a link on Facebook, see if he wants to jump in with us.
Yeah, no, go ahead, do that. But I mean, do we focus on O-line in the next draft? Yeah, we have to. We have absolutely no depth. Absolutely no depth. You see what happens when our starting five can't play. It's just a dumpster fire. Absolute trash. Getting the veteran QB, I mean, even though everyone is all, oh, hey, all we do is rent a quarterback. Well, I mean, we might have to go back to renting that quarterback because, with the play calls right now, the quarterbacks are getting no help. So we're going to have to do something. I really wish we would have done whatever we could to keep Sam Darnold. I know it was the money and everything, but I mean, damn, one more year of Sam Darnold getting chemistry with the receivers and everything. I think it could have been nasty. It's weird to say Sam Darnold, but I think it could have been nasty.
Yeah, all right. He's gonna come and tap in with us, Coach. That's
Let's
exciting.
go.
Man.
Let's
I'm
go.
about that. That's exactly why we wanted to start this show, was to give some fans, and we have so many great broadcasters and podcasters and guys like Marcus, Sir Picasso, that we always have room for special guests on here. So really stoked to see Brandon tap in with us. I'll keep my eyes on the studio for that. But yeah, lack of depth, and that comes back to Kwesi, right? I mean, that is 100% on Kwesi, because those drafts are where you restock those. So you can go out and rent a few guys to get you over the hump, a Hargraves and a Jonathan, right? Like, but none of that works if you don't have other horses in the stable to lighten that load and to bring more to the table. And unfortunately for this Vikings team, man, like, it's glaring. It's glaring, the lack of depth across the board. Even the guys that you would expect. I mean, obviously we're hearing a lot of Ty Felton and some of these other. I mean, Dallas Turner really didn't get a shot until Grenard and Van Ginkel got hurt this year. And now look at him. Like, and I don't know if that's coaching too. I don't know if it's the coaches who are like, I'm not putting them out there, or if it's, Kwesi holding some of these guys. Like, I don't know where the disconnect is. And I can't wait until we get credentials one day, Coach, so we can ask the hard-hitting questions to the people that know. But I mean,
you'll have the credentials, and I'll be the coach answering the questions for you.
Let's go. I know you posted a video. God, and you know what? It's AI, but it's a dream, right? To be out there. Yeah. And, hey, this team and this front office and these owners, they love Minnesota guys. So you got a shot, Coach.
Hey, I mean, I already got some people pulling for me. I just got to keep doing my work. I'll get there.
Hell, man. They freaking gave the ghost of Adam Thielen. They gave him a fourth-round pick away for him and then brought him back. Here we go. Big B, Brandon Herrera, jumping in with us. What's up, sir? Nice to meet you, man.
What's up, guys? Thanks for the invite. Cody,
what's going on, man?
Thanks for the invite.
Hey, it's my pleasure. My pleasure, man. I love what you're doing out there. And I'd like to give you tell people a little bit about your network and what you guys got going on. I know you've had Coach on for a coach's show for over a year now. It seems like it's been on for a while.
Yeah. It's Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. We do a lot of sports shows. We got a wrestling show that we do. Wednesdays or Thursday mornings, we have a Rankum show, which me and my buddy Tim Hendricks do, where we rank different topics for the day. We do a football show on Wednesday nights called Primetime Blitz, where we do predictions each week. But yeah, and then Coach Cody comes out once in a while, talk some football. It's always a joy having him. Good friend of mine. So yeah, we definitely enjoy what we do and definitely try to hop on and promote our shows. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, B. I love what you guys got going on. I referenced some other YouTube channels that I watched, growing up a Bears fan. I started following Draft Dr. Phil and the Keeping It 100 when it was on another network, and the Bears Bar Room, and started following this and really getting into this. And I've always loved, talking, right? That's how I became a podcaster to begin with. And most of my stuff's always been focused on music, right? I'm a songwriter. Songs that you'll hear throughout the show, those are my songs, and a way for me to expose people to my music. And I love sports, man. And I'm not always like, I consume a lot of sports content, but at the end of the day, like, I got shit I want to say too. And, with StreamYard and some of these platforms that we have now, is like, why not? And on a whim, I kind of asked, I was sitting here and like, man, there's no Vikings pregame show. Like everybody at Purple Daily obviously has all the post game and daily shows coming out, but nobody's doing any pregame action. And I'm good friends with the Viking World Order. Marcus was on with us, and Shelly, and so many of these people. And I really wanted just to shine a light on the good that they're doing, right? The money that they're raising for charities, and to kind of give a fan aspect of what we're doing, and to make the hang like a tailgate, right? Where we can sit here, we can talk some shit to each other, we can bring on opposing teams' fans as well, and just have a hang. And that sounds like exactly what you guys got going on over there at Coast to Coast as well.
Oh yeah, most of our, I'm in Minnesota. We got a guy down in Texas. We got some people that come on do baseball that live in New York. The people that put together the network, they live out in Portland. My buddy Tim Hendricks, he's actually over in Italy, so that's why he's on a few shows. So yeah, so that's why Coast to Coast comes about. We just want to voice our opinion and kind of live our dreams of reporting on sports, talking about sports, and try not to make it so much bias. I mean, yeah, we all, kind of have our homer takes here and there, but again, I'll sit there and talk about how bad I think the Twins are, the Vikings are, and, get called a bandwagon fan all the time, but it's just honesty,
Yeah.
So, Brandon, what were your thoughts on Sunday's game?
Oh, what were my thoughts on Sunday's game? Well, I mean, he made rookie mistakes. I mean, that pick six was a rookie mistake. He should have just, took the sack. And it's kind of like baseball. I hate when the player looks at that third strike right down the middle on a 3-2 count or whatever. It's kind of like that. You should have took the sack. You grew up playing quarterback. You know when to take the sack. The team just looks all disarray. That offensive line, can't block. I think that's what a lot of JJ's problems is, and he just doesn't know if he's going to get the block, so he has to think quick. And I always reference John Madden all the time. John Madden always says if you win the line of scrimmage battle, you're going to win the game. So you got to have a good offensive line, you got to have a good defense line to win the games. Me and Cody's talked about that. Through his coach's experience, and I think that's what the Vikings need to focus on. Yeah, I don't think they need to entertain calls for Jefferson, but again, it's got to be in the back of all of our minds. What are they going to do? When's Jefferson going to finally say, "Hey, I want out," and what can we get for him? And I kind of hope they keep him around, but what are they going to do this offseason? I mean, that's, I think, the $1 million question right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And everything has a price.
Yeah. The day that he asked for that trade, man, you're like, it's going to be a decade or more until we're good again. Right. Like, I don't know. Like, that would be the most demoralizing thing to happen to this fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think that's why you got to get rid of Kwesi sooner than later. You have to have somebody with and it's hard to go out and get somebody that's never done it before in that GM spot to plug in for this draft, right? Like, you have to be able to hire somebody that knows this league, that knows coming in already. And that's maybe why Kwesi keeps his job, is because you're in such a pivotal time in the franchise that you can't pivot last minute and expect someone to rebuild the team on the fly with no backing. Like, you almost need to have a GM now, like fire Kwesi tomorrow, find a new GM and hire someone, before this season's over, so that they can get the legwork in assessing this draft class so that you can make these picks. Cause I don't think you can wait till Black Monday, and it's not possible.
Well, Bubba, that's a good point. I keep to bring it up too. We always talk about how bad the coaching is, how bad the players are, why they signed it. Nobody talks about, well, what about the staff that goes out and scouts these players and makes recommendations? Yeah, It's on the GM and it's on the owners to say yes and no. But again, they're doing their job. They're saying, hey, we need to take this guy or we need to sign this guy. And it turns out to be a flop. I mean, when do we hold them guys accountable? It's not just coaching. I mean, these guys are pro athletes. They should be able to know what goes on. But I mean, I think Kwesi's probably on a very, very hot seat right now, especially if this turns out to be what you said. What we kind of think is going to happen is, they're going to not win the rest of the year or win maybe one game. Bubba, I'm with you. I think they just cut ties now and try to find a replacement, soon.
I thought there was going to be a statement after his statement on Thielen that was literally, we thank you, Kwesi. We appreciate it. Adios. Because to me, that's a fireable offense. Like everything that happened around that thing, I don't give a shit if he's a nice guy. I don't fucking care, to be perfectly honest. You traded a 4th round pick for this man to come in, not do a fucking thing, and then you're going to cut him because his camp is coming to you and saying, hey, we want to go play for a contender, man. Yeah. Get out of here. And I think a lot of Minnesota fans are too nice to Thielen, and those people even asking like, man, that's true. I'm going to come back and sign a 1-day contract. Look, bro, we don't want you, man. Like you're going to turn your back on the team when things are going bad, and you were here for the good days. And then you go to the Steelers.
Yeah, that's what shocked me. You went to the Steelers. I would have put money on the Bears or Buffalo, maybe KC, but yeah, I think I think Buffalo and Bills would have been a better fit for him.
And yeah, this scares
Reunite
me.
With
KOC and Kwesi bring Mac Jones to save their asses, and that's what scares me is you go and rent a guy who hasn't proved it at all in this league. What did Mac Jones have? Like 4 good games? Like
if we do that, I'm switching sides.
That was a tough one because I don't know. I mean, yeah, we got the weapons, but still. You bring Mac Jones in here, you still have to bolster that offensive line. I mean, I wouldn't trust anybody with that offensive line, right now.
Thank you. Someone with sense.
Yeah, see, and talk about that. Now, we didn't do a post-mortem on the Green Bay game, Coach. I would love to know, because you went back and watched all the tape, and everybody just buried JJ after that game. He doesn't have it, but Micah Parsons fucking destroyed this team. Oh, yeah. One-handed. Yeah. Single-handedly destroyed that offensive line. Everybody got their jockstrap taken by Micah Parsons that day. So to put it all on the 22-year-old kid's shoulders, I thought was very unwarranted. But I feel like, and that's not even trying to be like an apologist to JJ. He's been historically bad. Yeah. But can you talk about what you saw on the tape, Coach, of the inefficacy of the offensive line?
For this Seahawks game?
No, for the Packers game where you actually had all 5, right? You had your starting line right in the game, and
starting 5, and I mean that was one of my keys to the game. We had to stop Micah Parsons. We had to win that battle up front, and we just got worked. We got they put hands on us and didn't let go. It was ridiculous. It was almost embarrassing. But that's what's going to happen. I mean, Micah Parsons is just a beast. You're not going to stop him. You can only just try to contain him, limit his disruption.
So is it coaching then? Because at the end, they finally started triple teaming his ass and saying, we're not going to let this man beat us anymore. Why wasn't that the game plan from the get-go? And
it should have been. It should have been. You're going into the game.
Who the man is. He's been doing it in Dallas for how long? I watched him destroy the Bears last year. Michael Parsons single-handedly wrecked that game against the Bears. That was kind of the end of the season, honestly, for the Bears, because I think it might have been that following week that they were in San Francisco and the team checked out. I watched the players check out, and they were just like, we're fucking over this,
Yeah.
And
that was the problem. It's just coaching all the way around. And it almost makes me wonder, is there something going on with our running back situation? I mean, we're not running them. When we do, we're getting, X amount of yards per clip in top 10, whatever in the league, but we're only running them so many times, 6 times in the first half. But Aaron Jones, every time he gets hit, he's hurt.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, Jordan Mason gets hurt. So it's like, are you just hiding the fact that they're hurt and just trying to pass more? Or what's going on?
Yeah, this Mac Jones comment, man, like, yeah, he went sick, but San Francisco is a good team with a good coach. Like, it's not like Mac Jones put the team on his back.
And that's the thing is, everybody says that, oh, we need to keep this. We should have brought this guy. We should have brought this. Look what they're doing. But it's not going to say that they're going to do that here in Minnesota. I mean, our offensive line is garbage. Yes, we got probably the best combo of receivers. The running game's pretty decent, but if you can't open up those holes and block, it ain't going to mean nothing. I mean, I said this back when we first started Coast to Coast, back in, 18 when we had Case Keenum. I said they bring Case back, you draft Lamar Jackson, and then you have an open competition. I got laughed at. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, they're like, well, look what Case did outside of Minnesota. You're right. He fit Minnesota. He doesn't fit anywhere else, and that's one thing I think a lot of coaches need to do is fit their game plan to what their team can do instead of trying to fit the team to their game plan.
I'm not going to lie. That pissed me off when we didn't bring him back. That pissed me off.
Yeah. And you signed Cousins for a guaranteed contract, which now everybody's getting guaranteed contracts because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah, this is rough. And I think what a lot of, obviously last year was an amazing year, 14 wins. It takes a lot to do that, but your defense was historic in takeaways, and Sam Darnold didn't win 14 games. And I don't know how fans don't see that when you're getting short fields and quick changes, right? And coach, you can kind of attest to this as a defense, and your offense goes out there and you're right back on the field. You're not fresh, right? You're not at your best. And I think the Vikings offense last year capitalized on that. And especially KOC knows how to capitalize on that, right? His offense is built for a tired defense because you now can play these long developing, these pass rushers aren't fresh. And because you just won't commit to a running game, you're not going to wear any of these guys down with your play calling. That I think a lot of people forget. They just see the stats in the win column after the season's over and forget that. But yeah, the reason that you had all those touchdowns was because you were getting the ball on the 30, right? You were getting the ball in the red zone because your defense took the ball away, 39 times last year? And now we have 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
No intercept. Did we get an interception this week? I was listening to the game, so I might have missed something. I know the defense played well this week, but I know we got
no,
but no interception.
We just got a bunch of forced fumbles.
7 games now with no interceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, yeah, I think the Vikings getting McCarthy on the draft was like, yeah, we moving from you Jefferson type of shit. Jefferson have too many QBs already, and Vikings owners know a rookie QB wouldn't fit. I don't know. And then he kind of continues here. They know what they're doing. Vikings can easily go Ohio wide receiver 1 and Vikings new job. You don't pay the man like you did and extend him if you don't believe that he is a vital part of your team. I don't believe that. And unfortunately,
I think you guys hit on the nail when I first joined and was watching you guys' podcast. Jefferson's got to be a part of the offseason process. They got to sit down with them and be like, hey, what do you want? What do you think we need, to keep you happy, keep you here? I mean, even maybe you bring in Jordan Addison too, and TJ Hawkinson, and sit them down and be like, okay, you guys are our 3 weapons. What do you guys need? What do you guys think we need to do in this draft or in the offseason?
I think Hawk's gone. Maybe you bring in Addison, but with his off the field issues this year, he comes back. He's underperformed. I was in a different chat, and I think I said Addison was a wide receiver 3 because that's probably where he fits in on a Rams team, right? Yeah. He's undersized. You got to kind of gadget him a little bit to get him open. He's not separating. Like, to me, that's not wide receiver 2, right? No. That's not a second option opposite of Justin Jefferson, who so like my Justin Jefferson moment, we were at the Colts, we were at the 33-point comeback game a few years ago, my wife and I.
Yeah, don't bring that up on Coast to Coast because Tim Hendricks is a Colts fan, so.
Dude, that game, and I was still like, I was rooting for the Vikings because I didn't have a dog in the fight, but I watched him like walk up, and I'm gonna maximize my screen so I can kind of stand up and show you guys this. But I watched him just hand fake someone. I can't get to myself on here, right? I'm gonna minimize Cody, and I'll remove you guys real quick. Maybe I can get to this, but no, he literally just like threw his hand out on the goal line, and the quarterback, woo, out of frame, right? And you're like, that's the respect you have to have for this man, right? That's the respect you have to have for that speed and separation that you're going on that first movement. And that guy was off the screen. It was like a magic trick. Like the guy was gone.
Yep.
And you have that. See, but here's the problem is that Addison has not been on, right? Yes, he's a 1 on shitty teams, right? Yeah, he's a wide receiver 1 on the fucking Bengals, right? Well, not maybe with Jamar Chase there, but like,
I don't know. Addison would be a 1 on many teams. Maybe the Jets.
1 on some teams, right? Right. On bad teams. And that was kind of someone's reiteration is like, man, yeah, I just don't, for me, especially in this day and age, because the talent level of the NFL is so high now and your cornerbacks are getting bigger. The cornerbacks, I think the average size of cornerbacks, it isn't 5'10" anymore. The average size of these cornerbacks, coaches are going for guys that are 6'1" that can keep up, that can knock balls down. Addison is undersized. And that's a reality with it. I know people are in love with him, but you combine that with he cost you 3 games this year, right? He was not available for 3 games because he put himself above the team. To me, that's selfish. And that speaks to the player that he probably is in training during the off season, right? Talk about a guy. He doesn't look like a freaking 4.4 or whatever he ran at the combine anymore to me. Didn't look like he's got that breakaway speed this year. He's living off that 40 time from the combine and not excelling, not going out like a Jets does and working out in the offseason to maintain that high level. I don't think guys respect how fast it fades in this league because there are dogs coming every single year through that draft that it's their dream to play on that field. And if it's not your dream to stay there, they're going to take it from you. And coach, maybe you have more insight to this than any of us, right? As a coach and someone who's loved the game, can you kind of speak to what it takes season over season? I mean, you're a champion. You've been there. You've coached these guys. Like, what does it take to maintain that in the off season to maintain that level?
You got to keep working. You got to I always tell my players, if you wanted to pay you like a business, you got to treat it like a business. You got to go to work every day, perfecting your craft. And Jefferson he does do that. He does put in the work. Addison, just like you said, I think he's just, that 1 year of success kind of got to his head. I mean, what was it? Last year, he got that speeding ticket because of the dog needed to go to the whatever happened to that dog? What happened to that dog? We never heard nothing. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But that's also where he needs some mentorship. He needs a Jefferson to just be like, hey man, like instead of going out doing some dumb shit, why don't we kick it? Why don't we just go work out, go train, But yeah, you always have to keep, like I said earlier, the game's always evolving. So you have to. There's nuances all the time. I personally in arena football, my DBs, I love my tall DBs just because the speed of some of them, the length, their jumping ability, it just gives us that much more of an edge.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, I mean, we saw this happen back when Moss came in. Everybody started getting the taller DBs because, especially in the division, they wanted to stop Moss. That was their whole game plan. Now when you go up
The
against the
Packers
Vikings,
did that.
yeah, Packers
The
did it.
Packers did
Lions
that. They
it.
just kept drafting DBs.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, what I would do if I'm a Viking or going up against the Vikings, I'm just putting pressure on the offense, because right now they're showing that they can't stop anybody. So, I mean, the defense is scary. I like the defense. How do you go from 4-3 to 4 or 14-3 to 4-8? Have you watched this season? That's how you do it. I mean,
Well,
you got, when you got two of the worst games a quarterback can do, and they come out and compare it to if the quarterback would have dropped back and intentionally ground the ball 20 times, the quarterback rating would have been better. How is that possible? I don't know. I think that's a funny step, but yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But yeah, there's something. I mean, we're not in the locker room. We can only, but every time they show the win, the team's all hyped up and they're getting the game balls and stuff. And I just don't know what this team is doing.
No,
Right.
and it unraveled this season in so many ways. I mean, I don't think Darisaw was ready to come back, not having Addison for those first 3 games, and then Naylor getting hurt caused you to make a bad decision on the Thielen. I don't know why you let Harrison Phillips go. Is it just a roster spot and then this year starting out, you can't stop anybody running the ball. And he was by far your best run defender on the line. Right.
Man.
So it's kind of like there have been a lot of bad decisions. And
I mean, they made Bijan Robinson look like a Barry Sanders. I mean, he ran all over us.
I know. I love that. He's on my fantasy team.
But yeah, he was a throwback to Bear.
Yeah, they couldn't stop him. I mean, even week 1, I don't know what happened in that fourth quarter or second half. I mean, we look like a totally different team that, it's just like, okay, we got it. JJ looks like he can, definitely bring us back if times are need. And then he goes out and does a disappearing act and, does what he does.
Now, Coach, I know we didn't watch, obviously we just started the show a few weeks ago, but do you go back and watch the game film? Did you see anything it almost seemed like, and they were talking about this on Purple Daily too, is that you kind of skipped steps, right? And you kind of caught a little bit of lightning in a bottle, maybe with that Bears game, and KOC's like, all right, the kid's ready for everything. And
100%.
And he wasn't.
Yeah, no, I definitely. But it's weird. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but yeah, we came back, and then that fourth quarter magic happened and we got that win, but it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like yeah, he had a couple touchdowns, ran one in, whatever, but it just felt like he caught fire for that split second.
Yep.
But it didn't feel good having that win, to me at least. I was just kind of still on edge, like, I don't know if what we got. Plus, nobody knew the Bears were going to have the season that they're having.
Yeah.
So I'm just going in there thinking
they were going to have the season.
Yeah, facts.
But also,
yeah.
That's the parody of the NFL. They were playing a last place schedule because they were so historically bad last year. And you can only beat the teams that are in front of you. But I think that kind of sets us up a little bit for next year, right? Where we're going to be coming from that worst position. We can fix this. The schedule, I mean, you're already starting to see where we're shaking out because of the way the schedule is made in the NFL. You have a pretty good idea of who you're playing the following season, even right now. Not the order necessarily of where we're playing them in, but the team that you're going to be playing, except for I think maybe 4 kind of wild cards in there, right? So we're looking at the teams that we're going to be playing next year and seeing some favorable matchups, at least on paper, right? So if you can right the ship, so to say, over this offseason, we could be the team next year that goes worst to first. It happens. It happens every season that a team does this in their division and catches fire. And honestly, that's like the only thing we got to look forward to now. I mean, we're going on full draft coverage. We barely even, we're not even talking about next week because what's there to talk about? I hope they lose, right? Like we kind of hope they see a little bit of improvement, lose the game, and can KOC run the ball more than 10 times? Can he run the ball double-digit attempts?
Well, I think that's a key factor is you got to start running the ball. Run sets up the pass sets up the run. I mean, it's been said for years. And actually, I like the 2 running backs we got if they stay healthy. I mean, when the Vikings signed Mason, I was just like, all right, we got a good running back. Jones gets the bulk of the carries. We need a deep threat run. We got Mason there. I thought the Vikings was going to be solid this year.
Yeah, I'm going to push back on the end of this. He says KOC wants the kids to struggle until they figure it out. I don't think he wants them to figure it out. I think he wants to fucking get rid of both of them and to have a veteran in there that he can be, it's funny. I'm going to make a political reference and I'm not going to make a habit of doing this, but when Obama was in office, he talked about, I just want to be the guy that's, pulling the strings in the background and have a puppet. And then we got to live through that. We all saw how that went. But I feel like that's what KOC wants to do with the quarterback, right? Is he wants a guy that's seen it all, that when he spits in the jargon to him, that KOC, he wants to be the quarterback so fucking bad, man, that's how you get this. He's playing Madden. He's smashing, spamming that pass button, right? And it's just, it's hard to watch, man. These last few weeks. I
don't think he wants the quarterbacks to fail. I mean, you definitely want them to learn. And, I think a good veteran that's been around for a while, yeah, we could throw out Aaron Rodgers' name. There's some other ones. But honestly, we've talked about this on Coast to Coast quite a bit. The Packers had the best quarterback system to date. You had Favre, Rodgers sat behind him for a few years. Then you get Rodgers out there. Rodgers plays. You get Love. Love sat behind him for a few years. Now he's getting. That's what a lot of teams need to look at is, let's get a veteran. Let's groom somebody behind. Yeah, we took a 10th round or a 10th overall pick to get JJ. Was it worth it? I mean, the year before, did we draft or not year before we drafted JJ, we drafted who was that quarterback that only played a half a game? Hall?
Darren Hall, yeah.
Hall, yeah.
Yeah,
I had high hopes for him.
Yeah, and he only played a half game and then we cut him. It's just like, again, that goes back to the scouting. You guys see these guys, you guys play. I was honestly hoping that the Vikings would have took Shadur Sanders in the 5th, 6th round. It's just like, what do we got to lose if
exactly.
I didn't want him early, but it's like he fell that far. It's like Vikings, just draft him and let's see what he could do, if needed.
Right. Yeah, no, it's funny, everyone's KOC is the quarterback whisperer. Like you said, with quarterbacks that have already been in the league that can take his verbiage and just run with it and not really have to be coached. But now he's finally, getting the other side of it, dealing with a rookie quarterback, and he's like, oh shit, kind of just stuck. And I don't know if he's that type of coach. I don't know if he's that guy.
He's kind of proven that he's not, coach. He's
right.
proven
and you have to be
stubborn, and he's going to throw the ball 80% of the time. I mean, he would throw up in his mouth if he, like, the Bears play, the play calling against the Eagles and running for 260 yards. He probably threw up watching that game, right? Like, just I can't believe they're going to hand it off again. I can't believe,
right. But and with your comment earlier about playing Madden, we've all played Madden, and if you're a diehard Madden fan, you'll play. You'll get so good, you're just like, I'm him, and you'll start a franchise with one of the absolute worst teams or a team with a rookie quarterback. One of the hardest ones was Madden 06 with the superstar mode, the QB vision. If you had a rookie quarterback and he was trash, that was rough. Okay. But even when playing Madden, it's manageable. It's not this god awful ugly. This is ridiculous. This is embarrassing football.
Did he reference in one of his interviews this last few days that he was thinking about maybe dumbing down the playbook and making it easier.
Yeah, man. He had a moment. Well, and he had that oh shit moment. The problem is he needed to have that oh shit moment 4 weeks ago. Maybe after the Atlanta game, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe before, like, because the wheels were coming off of this team early. And I thought that week 2 Atlanta game exposed a lot of things, and to just be so, I don't know what it is, purple colored glasses or your head shoved so far up that coach of the year trophy's ass that you can't figure it out. But yeah, he was stubborn, and now the season's lost, right? And unfortunately, the measure of the man as far as KOC goes is the rest of the season. Can he change his mind? Can he bring something different to the table and make JJ look like something? And because I don't think that you go and rent a quarterback this year and it changes much for next year. I don't think it does. I think that, like, best case scenario, this
who's out there that we could bring in? I mean,
well, I haven't even looked. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, it's not good. And this year's draft class of QBs isn't good either. So, and you're not going to be in a range to draft one anyway. So, like, the best case scenario for this team is that you're able to see JJ start to turn a corner in these last few weeks. You start to see KOC maybe change his play calling style a little bit here, and to open up his mind to the fact that you're going to have to change. Like, you have to be the one to change this. But he's shown nothing to the fact that he might do that. This is the first time I've ever heard him, and I didn't watch the press conference, but he's not a humble coach. He likes to put the blame everywhere else but on himself. And from what I heard,
there's been a few times where he's put the blame on him, but I mean, it could just be coach talk. I mean,
that's most likely coach talk. You got to take accountability though at some point. And why not do something different? Why not try it? You have nothing to lose at this point. I know a lot of fans are looking for a top 10 draft pick or something like that, but it's just the Minnesota thing to screw that up too. Watch us get a 15 to 18 number pick. Just trash.
Well, the thing is, their first pick this year has to be the best offensive lineman out there. I mean, that's where I'm going, But I think we kind of already commented on that comment where he's proven that he can take a quarterback that's been in the league, and I mean, look what Dobbs did the game and a half that he played coming in a week.
Yeah, but even that, look at what happened to Dobbs consecutively. Like, eventually teams figure that out, and he maybe tries to accelerate. And maybe that was because it was a dumbed down playbook. And honestly, those games that Dobbs won, he was running all over the place playing street ball. Right?
Yeah,
like
facts,
John Dobbs won those games, not necessarily the quarterback whisperer. So I think there's just been all that early success, I think, went to his head. That coach of the year, 14 wins last year, man, everything was cooking last year. And this year, those wheels came off. Now, you still have a good defense. I think that's the biggest question. Is this B-Flow's last year, right? Does he finally move on? Does he get the head coaching gig somewhere? I think as long as you have an open lawsuit against the league, you probably, odds are he doesn't. But does B-Flow stick around? Or are you looking at a new defensive coordinator in this offseason as well? In which case, man, what do you even do, right? Like, this offseason could absolutely fracture and shatter any hopes that you had of a championship in the 2020s.
I think
B-Flow stays. I think that
bring him on as head coach. Bring him on as head coach. Because then you keep him, you keep that defense. You can get a new offensive coach.
Who is the offensive coordinator for us? For the Vikings,
Wes Phillips. I think
Wes Phillips,
coordinator. Yeah, but everything runs through KOC.
Well,
Wes is there as a mentor, I think, to Kevin, and and honestly, I don't think it's his system. I think the system is solid. Honestly, I think it just comes down to his play calling, and especially. I like the play calling in that first half against the Packers. They were run heavy. They got him down, but the man gets inside of the 40, moving on the offensive side of the field, and it's pass, shotgun, and he thinks that he's back there, right? And that's why I say is like the disconnect between like what's working on the field and what's going on inside of his head as a play caller are so far away from each other. And then you go out with an undrafted rookie QB in Seattle this week, and you pass the ball 40 times and run the ball. You ran 6 attempts. 6 attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And we keep on bringing the coach of the year up, and I just find it disturbing that he can go from coach of the year to this and not have made an adjustment by now of some sort. I feel like he's got to start showing any adjustments, small, big, whatever. Just show us something different to save his ass, because I mean, people are already saying, was that a fluke, that coach of the year? Was it only because of the defense? Who's this? What's this?
Well,
the alcoholic Wes Phillips is our offensive.
And the thing is, we talk about
turning everyone in this fan base into alcoholics this season.
Well, and the thing is, we just talked about Philip what's his face, defense coordinator Flores being out. What about the heart of the defense, the guy that's been here for the longest time? Harrison Smith. I mean, he's said this is his last year, so they got a big shoe to fill on that side. With the player standpoint, on somebody that's respectful and been there, that can show the leadership like the Hitman does. So, I mean, that defense could look totally different next year. I
want to speak on that real quick. Shout out to Harrison Smith for doing it the right way his whole career. He didn't leave for the money or anything. Didn't leave because things got tough. He was here before Thielen, and things were even tougher. So I hate to say anything bad about Thielen, but damn, man, that was a bad look. I don't care. That was a bad look.
It's one thing to have conversations behind closed doors. It's another thing to let those things come to light, right? Like they made a conscious decision to put that all out there. And Kwesi, and I don't know if Kwesi's throwing Adam under the bus and their camp or whatever it is, but I think the PR looks awful on everyone. And that's why I was saying today that, like, I'm surprised there wasn't a statement from the team directly behind that one from Kwesi that was Kwesi's pink slip. But that alludes to the bigger factor, and we kind of addressed it earlier, is like,
yeah.
If you cut bait, you almost have to do it now. Look at that. His rookie card from 30 years ago.
No, that's not the rookie card. That's just I wish it was, but he's gonna be a big miss next year, I think.
Well, this defense regressed this year already.
Yep.
Byron Murphy, what happened to you? Going 6 picks, Pro Bowl, and you can't even find a pick.
Well, pressure last year. And really it comes down to a lot of factors, right? No third cornerback, right? No Cam Bynum.
Yep.
Allows you to not just match up man on man and be able to rush everybody and to throw 6-7 people at them. So you had to change defensive schemes. This defense is completely different this year from what we saw last year. Last year was all chaos. This year it's been more rushing the 4 down linemen, maybe a blitzer here and there. You're counting on Grenard, Van Ginkel, now a Dallas Turner to get home a little bit more, but you don't have the dogs on that defensive line to put on consistent pressure. Right. Yeah. You're not going to, I don't think anybody's going to get double-digit sacks on that line. Dallas Turner's your sack leader at 6. Maybe he gets 4 more over the course of the rest of the season.
He's turned the season around.
He turned it on, yeah.
A bust, and he's turned it around last few weeks. So,
but that comes to coaching too. Like, why did he not get that opportunity until it was injuries to Grenard and Van Ginkel and all of these?
Yeah.
When he got drafted, he learned it. He basically learned a new position when he got drafted. So I mean, that learning curve for it to be a year and a half. It is what it is. The one guy I'm really disappointed in that turned it around for the worse was Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, he starts off the year on fire. interceptions, that pick six. And then this last game against Seattle, I mean, the dude's getting trucked out the club. Literally, missed tackles and stuff, just trucked out the club.
Well, and to speak on that, Pace, I think, was really good in that gadget role. You had two guys. You got Metellus and Pace that were both kind of like positionless players last year, kind of in that rover, and they were impactful because they were a too fast linebacker or a oversized safety, right? And you can kind of mix and match them in there. The problem with this year, you're trying to match up kind of man on man with these teams now, and people are playing in a position instead of in this just chaotic thing. And the veteran quarterbacks have plenty of time. They're going to pick you apart. And this defense just got exposed. And you got exposed by the lack of talent, because where's your second string? Who is the second string defenders on this team? Where the fuck is the talent? And that's a front office issue, right? Like that's an issue. You got tired old defense out there, and it's not going to get any better. Like you're talking about drafting offensive linemen. I think you're looking running back. Maybe we had someone throw that up here. Jeremy Love running back on the draft. I don't know enough about some of these players. We're going to start digging into draft coverage here soon, obviously, because we have nothing else to talk about with this team. But you need a safety. You need a cornerback or two. You need a lot of pieces. And I think you got some good pieces. The offensive line was just hurt. Man. Yeah. No, Darisaw was never 100% this year. Jackson looked good when he was out there, but now he's been hurt, banged up a couple of times this year. Shout out to his mom. Did you guys see the video of her pulling out the syrup on the pancake block?
Yes.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. That. Oh, B. I'll have to send you that video.
Okay. All right.
They got a video of her in the stands, and a shout out to NFL Films, who obviously got cameras on everybody, but they were at one of the games recently at US Bank, and he had a pancake block, and mom was in the stands going, as a parent, get the syrup out. And she like pulled it out of the holster. Oh, dude, it's fucking adorable, man. I want to get her on the show so bad. Trying to find Mama Jackson and bring her in. But yeah, man, this season it hasn't been one thing. And I think that's what a lot of fans wanted to do, is just put it all on the young quarterback, and McCarthy's trash. And I don't know if you were here when Sir Picasso was on with us, but he was preaching patience with the young man. 22 years old, was supposed to get a redshirt year last year, got hurt, didn't practice. And I've said all along, like, he looks like a kid who hasn't played football in a year. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like somebody coming back from an injury and being thrown into a position that's just, impossible
to win, man. The preseason. He definitely should have got the
highest of expectations. Yeah. People are talking Super Bowl. The team is setting those expectations, right? And
media was too. Local media
was your year. Last year was your year, man. Yep. You had the opportunity. You won 14 games. You got they got the bye, or no? They ended up playing the wild card round.
Yeah. Losing to Dallas.
LA last year, right? Because the game had to get moved. Isn't that what happened? Is it was in Atlanta?
Oh. I still think our year was
Arizona.
Our year was 2012. All we got to do is make that kick. All you got to do is make the kick, man.
98, 99, Anderson.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man. B, I appreciate you joining us tonight, man.
Yeah,
you're always welcome on our stream, and I'd love to come on and talk any sports, man. I mostly root for Chicago teams. I left the Bears last year because I just couldn't do it. Of course, I blessed them by not being a fan this year, and they'll probably win it all. So fuck me, right? But I realize,
and that's the thing is everybody, give me crap because I'm a Minnesota guy. It's just like, realistically, I like my Minnesota sports. I want my home team to do good. But if I can sit down and watch a good game, I care less who wins. So I'm more just a sports fan. I think if anything, I'm more of a Twins fan than just a Vikings fan because I grew up baseball my whole life. But yeah, to watch the Vikings and it's just like, who should I root for next year? I mean, but no, it's great to be on. I mean, yeah, definitely. You guys let me know when you're on. If I got free time, I'll definitely jump on and talk sports. I definitely love talking sports.
Every
Awesome.
Tuesday, 8 to 10.
Okay. I'm normally home by then, so.
Bet.
All right. Well, everybody, that's Big B with the Coast to Coast Sports Network. They got a great thing going on. Check them out on all the social medias and make sure you're giving them a follow. Check out their shows. B, pleasure getting to know you, man. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
Later, man.
Oh, Coach, that was awesome, man. I really appreciate you've had some homies dropping in here on the show, and this was cool, man. I'm glad we decided to do this.
Absolutely. Short notice, but we make it happen.
Yeah, well, when the time is right and the moments present themselves, you got to be able to capitalize. And I think that is, that's a great lesson to learn from football, right? Like, and things that we've addressed last year a lot, but the Vikings last year capitalized on those big moments, right? They were able to take those short fields, convert them into touchdowns, and to create takeaways and to do all those things. And this year, you haven't had an answer. The offense hasn't had an answer when things haven't gone right. And that's, unfortunately, the head coach is going to have to learn some hard lessons and hopefully make some adjustments. If he doesn't the rest of this year and he just runs out there and we see a repeat of the last 2 weeks, man, this fan base is tuning out and they're calling for his head on a platter at the end of the season with Kwesi too, right? Like, I don't think that's warranted. I think KOC as a leader of men still has something. I think he can control a locker room. But when people start to doubt you as a play caller, and maybe you can speak to this a little bit, does it fracture their trust in you as the leader of the locker room as well?
Absolutely. That fractures the trust, just not having that voice. You can talk all you want, but if it's only being heard surface level, it's just pointless. Play calling, just everything that you do as a coach is going to gain trust from your players. And play calling is a big thing because that's how you get your results and end up getting your dubs in the process. But definitely, there's some players in that locker room right now that are questioning many things, not just the play calls. I heard, I think Speedy Naylor was being interviewed, and he had mentioned how something about the play calls were getting messed up. I don't know if it was just how Max Brosmer was relaying the play call, or the fact that they sometimes didn't even have enough time to get to the line and make an adjustment or something. But
which was an issue with JJ earlier in this season.
Yeah. So it's been a trend. It's been a trend. I don't know. I would hate to be. I feel like they weren't prepared for this season. Expect prepare for the best, expect the worst type of thing. I butchered that probably, but thinking everything's all good, and then bringing in Carson Wentz, like you couldn't have brought in anyone better.
You traded for Sam Howell. Like you there's been so many mistakes. Like, it's hard to keep track of them all from an organizational standpoint. That, like, it's been hard to keep track of all of this. And how do they get it turned around? I mean, we're starting to count down the weeks until the draft at this point, right? Like, there's a limited amount of time to figure out who you're going to put in these places to get that big board together, your top 100 and picking them. And I know you've never necessarily had to go through that process. In your years of being a football fan, have you done mock drafts and kind of follow those college players and put together some stuff like that?
Absolutely. Especially in Madden, I'll download the newest draft class or whatever. I'll start scouting them. I'm the one saving before the draft. and then going in, seeing what I can do. I might not like the results. I'll just back out and redo it. It is what it is. I'll admit it. But yeah, the best thing that we got going on right now is the amount of draft picks that we have. Now the question is, are we going to turn them into something? Are we going to use some of those later round picks to package up and move into the first or move back into the second and try to get more quality players? It's cool that you have 10 draft picks. It increases your your probability of landing on one, but it's the quality, the value of those picks.
Yeah, having 10 picks and 7 of them being in the 5th through 7th round.
Exactly. It's that's just useless. You might as well package those up for next year's pick, in a earlier round. But I hope we do make a couple moves, use some of those picks, and move up, and just try to bolster this offensive line, help out the defense. Offensive line and defense as a whole need to be helped. Everything else is just fine.
Well, and unfortunately, they're not going to be high enough to where trading back even becomes you know what I mean? To try and get an extra first and a second or something. That first pick is probably going to be somewhere between 6 and 10, I would imagine right now, or 6 and 12. I think right now it's looking like 12th will probably be the lowest, or you know what I mean, the farthest away from the top that we'll be picking because of the way schedules and records are sitting right now. Because I mean, we got one win, maybe the Commanders, who are completely depleted and kind of but they just took the Broncos.
I was just gonna say,
right,
Mariota Magic.
I mean, and like you said, we at this point just finished 4-13. Right? Like, who cares? Who cares if you would lose 5 more games? What do we give a shit?
And healthy.
It's all done.
Right.
Everybody's tuning out. So, Coach, we're going to put you to work. We're going to be doing a lot of draft coverage. You're going to educate me on how to watch players and how to watch tape. I hope we get a couple of sessions to sit down and to do that.
Let's go.
Watch some of this college stuff. And for me, I want to get to know the game better. I, as a fan, as someone who didn't necessarily play the game at a high level, but I've been able to watch, like I said, shout out to Draft Dr. Phil and everything that he's done to educate that Bears fan base. And that's how I kind of came into wanting to even do a football show. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to spending a lot of time with you, going over things, sharing that with our people here every Tuesday from 8 till 10-ish. And then, obviously getting together before games, 2 hours before kickoff, and really getting our preview time done in that. So, Coach, amazing. This went so good tonight.
I'm saying. I feel the exact same way. I think it's the start of something special. And let's just keep on riding this wave. You know what I'm saying?
Let's.
We got a lot of momentum.
I almost forgot. You wanted to do a segment, and because we had the guests on and everything, that we almost didn't get to it. But I made this graphic, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to get to use it. So
you teach them the little teaching lesson. Let's do it.
All right. So this is our new segment: the Goother, the Eeler, the Yoder. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly from Coach Cody. I'm
so glad you know how to say that.
I had to chat GPT it and have it say it to me like 4 times. But I figured, right, we have something, we all speak a little Norwegian because we can skull. And I thought it would be a fun way to bring it and bring a little levity to the situation. I mean, you can't do anything but laugh, right? Like, what was that? It was such, I'm not going to sit here and be mad anymore. I think as a Vikings fan base, we're pretty apathetic at this point to the whole situation. And let's just kind of get it over with. So, Coach, you wanted to do the good, the bad, and the ugly from last week. I'm going to kind of let you tell us what your plan is for this, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. No. So yeah, the good, bad, and the ugly. Just going over the game and giving you just simple points of my opinion. Starting with the good. I mean, defense came to play. They came to play. They forced punts. They forced field goals. they put the offense in a position to score. They just, they can't hold on forever. And finally, in the third quarter, they gave up a touchdown. So shout out to the defense. Dallas Turner, you had the best game of your career. Keep it up. We need that. We forced Darnold into making some not so pretty throws, and I knew that was going to happen. You had asked me last week, if Darnold being with us last year, going up against Flores' defense gave him an edge or us an edge. I said us, and for the most part, I was right. Our defense, back to them, they were bending, not breaking. We were getting sacks, which was important. We were getting that pressure on them. Sam Darnold isn't mobile at all, but just the fact that we were able to get them sacks.
We talked about that on the pregame show, that like B-Flow knowing Sam Darnold and knowing how to get to him, like that felt like that was going to be an advantage for the defense, and they proved it. They kind of showed why you moved on from Sam Darnold, because you weren't going to win a championship with him. I don't believe that you can win. Now, you can win games. You can have a good season with a great defense and a strong running game, or a great defense and a play caller that knows how to kind of play with the lead and to expose defenses that are playing from behind. But I mean, in a tight game, when he's got to make throws, you just kind of knew that who he is. He's been that guy his whole career. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was nice to see the defense finally really show out for a game and to be a return. Obviously getting Grenard back was a massive deal to that too.
Yeah. And finally getting a turnover, first turnover in 4 games. That's huge. That was definitely huge. Limiting Jackson Smith and Njimba. He didn't, he didn't really do much until 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So that was huge because he's having a phenomenal year this year. That was extremely huge. The bad, we couldn't stop the Seahawks for anything. They were running all over us, like I mentioned in the pregame. Kenneth Walker just running physical. He was just running angry, mean. He, trucked the heck out of Isaiah Rodgers. He got him pulled out for the game, and I'm surprised he went back in. Penalties, just stupid penalties. We still had some dumb penalties. Daresaw, Jackson, Ryan Kelly being hurt, that just the dismantled offensive line that killed us, along with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. Those injuries, a huge question mark, leading me to think that there's something more to that. Obviously, the bad. I'll put this as bad, not ugly, but the Brosmer pick. I don't even think he should have been in that position. You take the points in the first place. And KOC should have known that. Shame on him. For the ugly, bunch of missed tackles again. Too many, especially when we have them third and long and we're missing tackles. It's just demoralizing. They were way more physical than us. They wanted it more than us. It almost looked like we already gave up, which was kind of sickening to see. Isaiah Rodgers, I have you under the ugly. What the hell happened to you?
I was watching the preseason games, Coach, and I was like, oh, we got no cornerbacks. Like, what are we doing outside? It looked bad preseason, and I know preseason kind of is what it is now. You're only playing 3 games, but it was like, oh, we're going to get exposed. And the lack of physical play you touched on. I mean, the same thing happened pretty much to every game. Atlanta did that to us. The Packers did that to us. Brandon Jacobs. I mean, nobody on this team wants to tackle. Harrison Smith is throwing his 45-year-old shoulder into people. Yeah. Van Ginkel, I don't know that he even knows how to tackle. Like, if he's not knocking, I mean, he does. And he gets the splash plays, right? His instincts are so good, jumping those routes, on the, couple of pick sixes last year that he had, knocking balls down like that, getting a little bit of pressure. But I think Van Ginkel is completely underperformed this year. and everybody's getting a year older. And I think that we're in big trouble heading into next year if we can't get some young talent on this team.
Right. No, yeah. And just a couple more points. Just to reiterate, the running only 6 times in the first half. That's no excuse for it, and it better not happen again. With that interception, you take the points. That's absolutely horrible. It led to the pick six. And had you taken the points, you had a great chance of going into the halftime 3-3. Best case scenario, or you score, you stop them and get another score, and double dip because you were getting the ball back at halftime. And last but not least, just being shut out is embarrassing beyond belief. You have a kicker that can kick from Yucatan, and at the end of the game, the game's out of line, but you still got to play for pride at that point. And I'll never forget that, and I'll never forgive that. That was stupid as hell.
Thor Nystrom a few weeks ago, I heard him call him third leg Bill, and I can't get it out of my head. He could have kicked a field goal from the other side of the Puget Sound out there and made it. From frickin' Bremerton, he could have put one in, and you didn't even give him a chance.
It's just, I think KOC just, with certain situations, I think he just gets flustered and then gets out of his game plan, or sticks in his game plan and won't get out of it. It's one or the other.
Well, and we talked about that after, we alluded to it on the pregame show this week, because the Packers game, I felt like he did the same thing. After Miles Price, has the fucking boneheaded play and you give up that touchdown, you're only down 9, right?
Right.
But it's 2 scores, and all of a sudden you come out, you're backed up, and you go shotgun with a fresh defense. This defensive line has just sat in the locker room for 25 minutes, gotten rested up, and you decide that you're not going to try to run at that. Just where is the game plan? What the fuck is your game plan? And I think that's what a lot of people now, because JJ wasn't the problem, although he was part of the problem, and Brosmer, I don't know why people set the expectations so high on an undrafted kid. There's a reason that no other Minnesota Gopher has ever started a football game in the NFL. No offense to you Minnesota fans, but sometimes trends are there for a reason, right? Come on, and I'm sure he's a great guy, right? That's the thing about everyone on this Minnesota. Everybody's a great guy. They're all great. Can we get a couple assholes that are willing to shake somebody and to maybe stand up to the coach? And maybe it was wasn't it a linebackers coach or somebody that didn't end up traveling with the team this week? Did you hear anything about that?
I didn't, but that whole, he's a nice guy thing. I'm so sick of that shit, because we're taking that to a whole new level in all of our sports across the board. I said it once, I'll say it again. I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan, and I know a lot of people don't like him because of his,
hey man, I love Jimmy Butler
aggressiveness and stuff.
I fucking love Jimmy Butler, man. He was a dog.
And the fact that he kind of had that dog in him, and brought that it factor, but did it in a certain way. Everyone's like, oh, I don't like Jimmy. We got to get rid of him. I'd rather take Cat because he talks like this and stuff like that. No, fuck that. Let's go. I'm trying to win, man.
Yeah. Do we need to start a basketball show now, Coach?
I could do it all. Whatever you want to do, we'll do it.
I'm all about it. I know you said you got some connections to the Grand Casino, who are now the namesake of that beautiful arena in St. Paul. I love hockey, man. And I don't, just like B, man, I'm a sports fan. I'm just here. I'm going to be talking about it anyway. And I spent a lot of time, talking ball with my brothers, and we're just fans and bullshitting around. But man, if other people are going to enjoy this and take advantage of the chance to dip in with us and to leave their comments. Like, I would love to turn this platform into, an all sports platform. And obviously we're going to be talking a lot of ball with you as your season picks up with the Wyoming Cavalry. And let's end the show on some good there. Let's talk about your team and what you're going to have coming up, and maybe some preparations that you're making in the last 5 minutes. I got you here.
Yeah. We got our first tryouts coming up here December 28th. It's a Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Toka Soccer Center in Burnsville. I'm extremely excited. I got a bunch of players coming from in-state, a few out of state, some from other countries. So, I'm blessed to just be able to have the opportunity to speak to players from all around the world. Extremely grateful to have them want to come play for the Wyoming Cavalry and for me. We got our season coming up here in a couple months, a preseason game against a semi-pro team. I can't name them right now. It's going to be an announcement, but look for that in the next week or two. And then we're getting ready for camp. I'll be going to Wyoming for a week and just, bunch of football, a lot of evaluating. I'm already looking at film from the teams that we'll be playing from last year, just trying to, just get familiar. It's a new league, new teams. So I like to see what I'm working with. I always got to stay prepared.
Yeah, and you do. And I'm going to put even more on your plate this year as we move in. I want to give a few last shout outs. Obviously, we had Marcus Way on today. This is his wife, Shelly, there on the left side of the screen, the dark-haired one. Lady Persia is her name in the Vikings World Order. That is her friend, Kristen. Amazing people. They got a Secret Santa going on. I'm going to throw their link in the chat so you guys will be able to dip into that. Vikings fans, if you want to take part in the Secret Santa, they had a lot of success doing it last year, and it turned out to be a really cool thing. And then we also have their Women of the North calendar. I know Marcus was on showing us the Men of the North and everything they got going on. Both calendars they're selling, and you can get a hold of Shelly through the Facebook page that I linked in here too. And buy some of these calendars. All the money goes to charity. There's some great people doing some awesome things. We saw Marcus's paintings on here today. He earns the Sir Picasso title in every single way. Just incredible individuals, obviously part of the Viking World Order. If you've seen the game and you've seen them dressed up, Marcus is Darth Viking, always taking pictures with the fans. And it really, to me, it's what drew me to this fan base, that they were taking it upon themselves and spending this money to become part of the show for other fans, right? And they don't have to do that. They don't have to show up and to do all these things, but they do to make it even better for all of us that are going to enjoy these games. So a big shout out to them, a big shout out to everybody who is tuned in with us tonight on our inaugural run here with Vikings Uncensored. We had a great time. Coach, I can't wait to see you on Sunday, 2 hours before kickoff. We're going to talk some Vikings football. We're probably going to talk a lot more about the future of this organization being the Scene Project Sports Network and what we plan to bring, but we'll have coaches' keys to the game and a player to watch for you guys, and a little bit of a tailgate vibe pre-game to hang out with us. So make sure you're subscribing to the channel on YouTube and find us on all your social medias. Give us a follow. Coach, any parting shots before we get out of here?
Noon game, back to normal time, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, hopefully we can get against Washington, but I wouldn't hold your breath.
Honestly, they can lose out. I don't think it's going to break anyone's heart at this point. Look competitive, right? I think that's all we're asking. Can we see the run game working? Can we see KOC make adjustments? Can we see JJ returning to action, it sounds like, this week? Be better than he has? Can he put up a 60 QB rating? that would be awesome. Can you do better than you would if you just spiked the ball every time?
Right. Well, and I wouldn't mind just benching him again, even if he's healthy, just benching him. I mean, Bryce Young did that. They benched Bryce Young last year. He came back and looked like a completely different quarterback, and now they're probably going to make the playoffs this year.
I mean, I saw that hit. I saw it in real time in that Green Bay game, and I was like, oh, he's not getting up. Like, they got his bell rung on that play.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised he came back, but this felt like a soft benching. Did it not to you? I mean, it felt like he's going through the protocol, KOC slipping a freaking a Benjamin to the dock, right?
Right.
He's not going to be good to go this week, right? And
Right.
And then it comes out today, I think, or today, I think it was announced that he cleared the protocol. And I mean, I don't think you can trot Max Brosmer back out there again. I think everyone saw enough this week, and I think it opened their eyes to maybe this isn't all on JJ. And if that the only person that maybe it did it for was the coach to say, I'm fucking this up and I need to take some accountability to this, then maybe that's a step in the right direction, because honestly, he's going to have to do something to save his job next year, and a lot of things we alluded to on the show today. There's some changes coming to this team, and I think the fan base and the people inside of the building need to prepare themselves for it.
Oh yeah. And it's going to be drastic. There's going to be a lot of changes happening. It's going to seem like overnight.
Yeah, well, it seems like overnight that the vibes left Egan and US Bank Stadium, right? Like from Super Bowl talk preseason to where we are now 13 short weeks later is pretty abysmal. But you know what? The Scene Project Sports Network is going to be here to pull you through it. If anything, to bring a little levity and to bring some honesty to the conversation, and to be here for you to cry with. And hopefully next year we're celebrating a much different season. Coach Cody, thank you so much for your time today. Everyone tuning in, a big shout out to Sir Picasso, Marcus Way, painting away on all your social media. Big B from the Coast to Coast Sports Network joined us tonight too. Shout out to everybody for making this a huge success tonight. And we'll see you all on Sunday for the Vikings pregame show. Coach, have a great night.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. See ya.
Running through these towns, kicking psychedelic sounds. I leave my heart down on the ground. Since I don't have you around, I'll grab a bottle off the shelf and go and drink it by myself. Say you wanna talk it out, well I don't think I need your help. Think I'm better off alone. I made my home run on the road. I won't spend my lonely nights talking on the telephone. I find a girl at every show, but I will never let you know how much I regret the past and why watching you go, because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. Fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues. But my heart can't seem to forget about you. Can't forget about you. Last 3 months, like a doggy on a chain, I got my heart off your leash, but you still infect my brain. So now I'm running round in circles, cause I can't forget the pain. Like 1,000 shiny daggers every time I hear your name. Though I have to get control of my body and my soul, I pick my heart off the floor like I had it twice before. Should've cared a little less, we should've loved a little more. Now we both regret the past as we're walking out the door, because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. We fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues.
SPSN.